My boyfriend was right about my guy best friend, and now I have no one. I, 24F, have been with my boyfriend, Jake, 26M, for 2 years, and while our relationship is great in many ways, there's been one ongoing issue. My guy best friend, Ethan, 25M. Ethan and I have been close since college. He's my go-to person for advice, and we've always had a bond that I thought was purely platonic. But Jake has never been comfortable with our friendship. Jake would constantly bring up how Ethan acted around me, how he was always too touchy, how he'd make comments about how I deserve better, and how he always seemed to show up when I needed support, even when Jake was there. I always defended Ethan, brushing off Jake's concerns and telling him he was just being jealous or insecure. I'd say things like, "You have to trust me," or, "He's been my friend for years and he's never crossed a line." Things reached a boiling point last week when Ethan called me after breaking up with his girlfriend. He was upset and wanted me to come over, so I canceled date night with Jake to be there for him. Jake was visibly irritated but didn't argue, just muttered something about how I was always prioritizing Ethan. Before I left, Jake said, "I hope you don't end up regretting this," which I thought was completely unnecessary. When I got to Ethan's place, he was clearly upset, so I spent the evening comforting him. We were sitting on the couch, and I was telling him how great of a guy he is and how he'll find someone who appreciates him. That's when he turned to me and said, "You're the only person I've ever wanted to be with? You know that, right?" I was shocked. I stammered something about how that wasn't true, but he leaned in closer and said, "You've always been the one. I just didn't say anything because of Jake." Before I could fully process what was happening, he kissed me. Here's the thing. I kissed him back. In that moment, it felt like everything clicked. Like maybe Jake had been right all along, and I'd been blind to what I really wanted. But as soon as it happened, the door to Ethan's apartment opened, and there was Jake, standing there with my purse in his hand. I froze, and Jake's face went completely blank. He dropped the purse on the floor, turned around, and walked out without saying a word. I ran after him, trying to explain, but he just shook his head and left. Now I'm sitting here completely lost. I feel terrible for what happened, but I can't stop thinking about how I felt when Ethan kissed me. At the same time, I hate that Jake found out this way, and I feel like I've destroyed everything. After Jake walked in on me kissing Ethan, I didn't hear from him for a week. I tried texting, calling, and even stopped by his place, but it was like I didn't exist anymore. I felt sick with guilt, not just for what I did, but because I knew in my heart he was right about Ethan all along, and I refused to see it. And what happened next ruined my life. Part 2 is up now.